Hey guys, welcome to the stream. I'm the Wombat of Doom,
I'm Meg Kirby.
Trillion Spears.
and welcome. I hope you guys find this day well wherever or whenever you watch this. Welcome, guys who are here live at the beginning. And today we're going to be talking about boss battles, boss design. What makes a
Yes.
good boss, what makes a bad boss, and what makes a memorable boss, because that could be either side of the coin.
Oh my, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Where do we want to start? Kirby, go ahead and just kick this off. You've been dying for this.
I have. Okay.
Well,
okay,
I mean,
so I
like,
guess
first of all, we kind of want to define like what a boss is. Like, we were kind of talking about this just before
okay,
stream,
that's
right?
fair.
Like, so go ahead, Kirby.
So boss, I mean, no matter what, and we were trying to talk about this. When Trell made a point in like the pre-stream chat, like pretty much every game is a boss if you think about it. I was trying to think of a game that doesn't have bosses, and I haven't succeeded yet. I'm sure I could imagine something if I really tried, depending on how technical you want to get. But anyway, a boss, depending on what game you're playing, is essentially a big baddie, or not even sometimes a baddie. Sometimes it can just be like a puzzle or some obstacle that you have to surpass. So in some games, it's obvious, like Dark Souls, where some dude shows up and he has a massive health bar in your face. He's like, "What's up?" So it could be something like that. It could just be something as simple as Mario, where there's just a Bowser or Koopaling where you jump on their head 3 times. But essentially, I guess it's a stronger than regular enemy or obstacle in the case of a game without enemies that you have to get by. And we could probably flesh it out a bit more, but
Yeah, and like
I-
generally, like games have either multiple bosses or at least a end boss, and
True.
sometimes both.
Yep. Some games are all bosses.
Right, like
Yeah.
Shadows of the Colossus. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, good call out. Dang, I didn't even think about that one.
I
in this
was
one.
I was thinking about that one as one to talk about, but anyway.
That's so. Oh yeah. Would you like you could almost even like argue against that and say like they weren't. It was just levels or something like that, right? But like I would lean on the.
I would
bosses.
disagree.
Yeah,
I
I
think
would-
that set the genre for boss games.
Yeah, the boss rush style, man.
Yeah.
Ah, dude, that was such a good game. I wish I could play it blind all over again. I liked what you said there, Kirby. I think that it kind of lines up. Usually every game does have like even if it doesn't have like a boss battle of some sort, usually there's like a protagonist and antagonist in the storyline. So
Yep.
like I think a good one would be like I'm not gonna call out anything specifically, but there's some spooky games that like you don't actually maybe fight any person, but you learn through storyline type thing, and it's like that maybe is like you, in the cinematic you defeat the boss or something like that, and so it's
Yep.
like there wasn't a boss battle, but there's usually that kind of aspect. So not every game maybe has the boss battle, but there's always like a antagonist, right?
I agree with that. And the only thing I've thought so far that is not true for that, I think, is Tetris. But you could just argue every block is a boss or something. But I agree otherwise. Or like maybe Pong.
Every block is a boss.
It's all bosses.
I would
Yep.
say that Tetris is not like boss unless you like consider the stage to like that. You know how Trell was talking about some things being argued as levels rather than bosses. I think
Right.
Tetris is their levels. They're not bosses.
Okay, yeah.
But
No, I agree with that.
But Pong, when you're playing an opponent, I wouldn't say that's a level. I'd say that's a boss. Because it's an opponent that you're fighting against.
Right, right. So, okay. So do we all agree? Wait, Wamba, did you have any more to add on what you think a boss is that we haven't already discussed?
No, I think you're good. I think it's well defined.
Okay. So I mean, like we could go into the genres. I mean, we obviously know what the most talked about thing is going to be is probably either adventure games
yeah,
or action
yeah.
RPGs.
I've got a
Okay.
cool.
What do we always do? We talk about Dark Souls. Let's just get
So
into
so
it.
let's talk about Dark Souls. Let's not talk about Dark Souls this time since we do it every time. But
Ooh.
before
Oh my
before we actually do that, I have a question for you guys.
Oh, I like that. Okay, let's do it.
All right, so what is your first boss that you remember in your gaming history? Like the
Okay.
first boss that you
Okay.
like.
I know
look,
that.
Look back to young Trell and young Kirby and try and think of the first boss that you
It's
might
one
have
of
fought.
two because I don't know which was actually first. I want to say it was Dr. Robotnik and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my god, I was gonna say the same
Oh.
fucking thing.
Yup. If not that, in case my memory is wrong, which it could be, it's gonna be one of the first boss in Mega Man X. Because I played Sonic with my mom and I played Mega Man with my dad. So it's one of the two, and I think I played Sonic first. Because I remember Sega Genesis was my first console. So
And what makes it memorable for you?
I guess it's because it was the first boss. It was my first experience. Like, whoa, this dude doesn't die in one hit when I jump on him. What is that? And I was mad. I actually remember being mad, or maybe not mad, but like stunned that something didn't die in one jump, like everything else beforehand.
Right.
But I won't say it was like a crazy boss. I might not put it up in one of my favorites outside of nostalgia value. I mean, yup. The music is fantastic. That's true. Yeah. So it was actually Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and the first boss is him driving around this red car with a drill in the front of it.
Right.
You just have to jump over him and land on his head. And
Oh,
I just remember that. Yeah, I just remember like, dude, this is cool. This is and my dad's like, yeah, it's a boss. I was like, I don't know what that means, but okay, I'm gonna keep jumping on his head. So
And at that very same moment, your dad all of a sudden pulled out, "No, this is Dark Souls. Get in there, kid."
he just smacked me off the chair. And he's like, you're not ready for that shit. Come back in 18 years. Yep. So that's my first boss.
Trell.
That's a good first question. I agree.
Mine was probably Bowser on SMB1 on the NES. Or I guess either that or it was the damn dog on Duck Hunter.
The dog.
So
But I probably would consider Bowser the first.
and what is memorable about that experience?
It being the first, like being this like crazy big dude, and he stole your princess. You know, it was the biggest antagonist thing that I saw played out in front of my eyes at that point.
Now, are we talking about 1-4 Bowser, like from SMB, or are we talking about like Bowser from N64 era? Or which Bowser?
No, he's older. He's old, dude. You think that's the first game he plays at N64? Look at this man. I'm just kidding. Yeah, exactly.
Guess who's back?
All right, yeah, it's back on my end.
All right. Sorry about the drop. It looks like my internet had a hiccup or something, because I couldn't even hear them. They kind of cut out and froze. So as we were saying, Trell was answering the question about his boss, and that it was Bowser, and I said, which Bowser was it? And
Yeah,
So then-
SMB1.
SMB1,
Yeah.
so 1-4 Bowser, when you jump over him and hit the hammer. Got it. So pretty simple boss. Like, you can't even really damage him. You just have to jump over.
Yep.
What about you, Wombat?
So if it wasn't Sonic, which it
Yep.
probably is, but if it wasn't, it would have been probably Donkey Kong Land on the Game Boy.
Okay.
So the bosses in that.
I don't know if I ever hold on. I don't know if I ever played that game.
I never played that. I thought you were gonna go into DKC, and I was gonna just also
So-
just fanboy out.
So GKC might have been up there, but I had the Game Boy first.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Was that your first console?
the Game Boy, yeah,
Okay.
and Sega
Nice.
a little bit later on.
Dude, I love that. That should be my text tone, actually. I might change that now. Anyway.
And then after Sega was N64. I
Yep.
actually never owned an NES. I had a neighbor that had an NES, so we played on that.
Me too.
And then he moved away.
Yeah, I hear you cheapos. God, I
Oh.
had the real McCoy. Come
Oh
on.
my god.
And then I had another friend who had a PlayStation, so we'd play PlayStation games together. And he'd come over for Sega. So it was like between my three friends, we'd go to each other's houses and play each other's consoles.
Dude, that's awesome. Okay, I want to real quick comment on the PlayStation. My parents got me one without a memory card, so I couldn't save any game. And I was mad.
Oh.
So I had an N64 first, and I thought it saved like the cartridge or the disc, and I got really far in Spyro, and then I lost all of it.
Oh.
Anyway, we can continue. I just had to throw that in there real quick.
He's still salty
I'm
about it.
so mad. That's so stupid.
That's true.
It's
We
not
never
their
had an
fault. They didn't
NES.
know, but
Unless you owned
Yeah.
one. The NES was at the daycare that we were at.
Oh, nice. No, I had the NES, then the SNES, and then 64, and then PlayStation. I didn't really
Man.
I didn't really get any handheld games. I did have the Game Boy. I probably only had like 2 games. One of which was like Pokemon Yellow. Was it Yellow? I think so.
Yeah, same. I'm still not really in the handhelds that much, but
Yeah, Switch. I mean, Switch. I guess is a handheld, right?
it is. But I don't use it as well. Like, do you ever take it places and do portable stuff with it?
Not really.
Yeah, same here. So
Yeah, I've never been big into handhelds, I guess.
Well, the Game Boy, like they gave it to me, and like on long trips I'd just be like glued to it the whole time and quiet. So
That's gonna we do that with Aiden right now. Sometimes he has a tablet, and I swear he knows how to use that better than like his grandparents. But he loves it, and sometimes we have to set time restrictions on it because he'll zone out forever if we just let him go ham on it.
anyway, back to boss time.
yes, back to boss. So first bosses. Okay, nice. That was a good first question. I like that.
Some classic bosses in there too. Like, you know, all like original games, not like some later stuff, you know.
Right.
So like gym, like it would have been pretty close to say like the gym bosses and the gym battles in Pokemon, like the.
It would have. I played those afterwards, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
The Elite Four and shit.
Those dudes were tough.
They were. So, but like I wouldn't say that those bosses are memorable, or as memorable as like say some other more unique bosses. But like some of that's the limitations of the game itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I think turn-based games and turn-based games like Pokemon and other JRPGs. I mean, some of them are definitely memorable, but I think it's much harder to make a memorable turn-based boss than, you know, a platformer or an action RPG boss.
I agree. Although Final Fantasy has done a pretty good job at it.
They have. I've only played a couple of them, but
I
yeah.
haven't played any of them, but I did beat Final Fantasy VII for somebody. So that's the only
You beat it
boss
for them?
Yeah, that's the only boss I've ever played in Final Fantasy. Is the final boss of 7. So I have no idea what happened, but I beat it. So
I did it.
Hashtag.
So you beat the game. I mean, there we go. You can say it now.
How does that work? Like they did all the work to get there, but they fight the boss?
I guess. They
I can imagine
kept
being the
trying
whole
and
game
trying
then.
and trying and like weren't succeeding. So they're like, "Here, you try," and then I beat it.
Wait, Charles, do you care about Final Fantasy VII spoilers? Because I don't.
No, I'm never
okay,
gonna play
is the
it.
last boss Sephiroth? I don't know who it is.
I don't even know who it really was. I just know what they looked like. They had like
Okay, was it to do with long silver hair and wings?
There was wings, but
Okay,
it
maybe
was
he
like
looks
this
different.
big giant mecha angel thing.
Okay, I think he turns into a robot. I'm
And then
Googling this stuff.
like he has this attack, whoever it was that like was supernova.
Oh yeah, he blows up the sun or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's an instant.
It is Sephiroth.
death.
Okay.
Okay, it is. Okay.
Yeah, form. It's not the human form I was imagining. Anyway, now we're getting off topic with Final Fantasy, but
We're not though. We're talking about a boss.
that is true. That's true. We're talking about you beating the boss. How are you gonna beat the whole game and then be like, "Hey, come beat the last boss"?
Well, I was
Isn't it
watching
like-
him, and then I'm like, can I try? And then he's like, yeah, go for it. And
Okay.
I beat it for him. So.
Isn't that like your reward though? The boss, like, oh, is a boss in your guys' eyes a reward?
Yes.
It can be. Sometimes it's not.
Well put. Because I would say like bosses are your reward in like the Souls games, right? But at the same time, they're also your punishment.
Right. Which is why Dark Souls games work so well, because it's both.
Dude, if Dark Souls games, it's the next time they made a game like there's no boss in this one. I don't know if I would buy it. I'm like, okay, why?
Because of the trolls and the lore that you can't understand, and the stupidness, the edges that you fall off of. And...
That's like making a Zelda game without dungeons.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
wait, they
in
did
Breath of
that.
the Wild.
I know, and that's my biggest complaint about it. I mean, it's still a fantastic
That's
game.
why Breath
but,
of the Wild is not my favorite Zelda.
I'm here's hoping for Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever they end up calling it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm
I
fine,
got a
babe.
feeling they're gonna
One sec.
have the same formula.
I mean, I'm fine. Okay, So here's what I want. Well, he's gonna be our beast, so we're allowed to. Now it's just this talent time. The talent's here.
Yes.
So I'm fine with the same formula, but if they just replace divine beasts with actual dungeons or temples or whatever that were like more fully fleshed out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
because like the divine beasts, in my opinion, felt like the regular shrines, but you did have the bosses in the
You
divine
did,
beasts.
and that was good. But all the divine beasts internally looked the same, and you didn't really like.
Yeah. So
Oh.
the fights themselves
The
were
boss
memorable.
battles looked the same in the Divine Beasts.
Exactly, and that was probably my beef was that like you want when I'm fighting something like you're looking
They
back
were
at like
they were
OG,
unique and different in terms of how you fought them and like how you
Yep.
complete the dungeon, but like they were too samey in other elements and appearance.
just give them a different color. And that would've
Yes,
been-
right.
I mean,
It's
no,
all
no.
that-
It needed to be different than just the color. The color would not have helped. It would. It had
It
to
would've
have
helped,
been.
but-
Color would have
It had to have been a better like appearance, like instead of the same
remember-
appearance with different moves.
Do you remember their names?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I would have been like the blue one. That one was cool.
Did,
You know?
did they? I thought they were all Blight Ganons. Weren't
Yeah,
they?
you're right. Was it just Water Blight, Thunder Blight, Fire
Yeah.
Blight, and Wind Blight? You're right. It was, wasn't it? Their names were the same.
Yeah. Because they were all technically Ganon. So
Yeah.
yeah. Although the Ganon fight was pretty dope.
I haven't fought Ganon yet.
Oh, spoilers! You didn't know you were gonna fight Ganon. Dang.
Well, I knew you were gonna fight him, but I
Calamity Ganon.
haven't played it yet.
I'm surprised you haven't done that.
So.
Any reason why you have that on the back burner?
So I was going to beat the game, but I wanted to do everything first, and then when I had the idea to do Explorer Link, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll wait to finish the game for that. I also want to
Fair.
I want to complete the DLC before I do it. I haven't beaten the DLC either.
Okay.
I just beat that a few months ago over the summer. I liked it.
I heard
Yeah, I still need to
heard
go
it was
back
better.
and I need to go back and play the DLC myself. I've done like half of it. I think half.
You know, my only complaint about that, I know, I swear, okay, you know, no, I'm going to save it. We're not getting off topic. Nope, because it has nothing to do with bosses.
Okay.
Wait, are you gonna complain about me?
No, about the DLC. Something about the something about it.
like I abandoned it. I was like, dude.
No. I was going to complain about, fine, you know, 2 seconds. You get to the end, you get a reward, but then you already beat the game, so there's not much to use the reward with. That's all. I hate when games do that. Done.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about, even though I haven't gotten
Yeah,
it.
like, maybe it's my fault for beating the game first, but like, I just don't like getting rewards, and like, well, now what? I've already done everything besides collect all the golden Korok poop, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so boss battles in general, like I feel like the most memorable boss fights are both challenging and
Yep.
unique.
So are we saying good memorable or just memorable?
Good memorable.
Okay, yes. Then they also need to be fair, in my opinion. Maybe that's part of the challenging, but
so Dark Souls is out, right?
dude, no. Okay,
There's
most of
some
the bosses
awesome
are fair.
boss battles in Dark Souls that are memorable, and then there's also some really really shitty ones.
Well, yeah, Beta Chaos. You know, memorable. Hate that stupid ass fight.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Beta Chaos is up there. So is the Capra Demon.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Like,
Yeah, that one was
it's kind of crazy how you can go from such amazing boss fights like Artorias or Ornstein and Simone. Like, you know what else we got? We got Beta Chaos. And I'm like, why?
Oh man.
Yeah, I agree.
Order-
Sorry, go ahead.
I wonder what the order design was in that game. Like, which boss did they design first? I think it was
Yeah,
Gwen.
right. Like, I don't know.
Or repeat bosses are another thing that some games
Holy
suffer from.
fuck, do I hate repeat bosses? Skyward Sword with that big ass guy, that dude with the big toes, and you smack his toes.
Mhm.
Oh, I hate that.
Are you
He also
considering-
looked really stupid too.
He looked
His
dumb as fuck.
design was awful.
Are you
Where's your trial?
considering the bosses that have that become NPCs later or enemies later?
I
Is
don't
that-
hate the boss, but I hate all the NPCs afterwards.
Okay, so
I-
you don't consider those like repeat or?
I don't mind that as much. For example, I don't know if I can say this because Trell hasn't played it, but
Bloodborne.
no. There are games that do that well, and usually speaking, like that first encounter is usually a little bit more powered up than the other ones.
or you're just low level or
Right.
whatever that.
Right. So it's like a
I just
coming
can't
of
think of a
age type
situation
thing.
where I'm like, yeah, give me that boss again versus a new boss. I just can't think of a single situation I'm like, yeah, I want that again.
No, correct. Yeah,
Back.
like, but like if it's another boss battle with it again, then yeah, it's not so good. Unless like it's a repeating boss that's like the end boss, like all the Bowser fights in Super Mario 64.
I mean, yeah, I guess
It's
fair.
the
I'm
same
also-
fight every
yeah.
single time, but it's still entertaining as fuck. You
Yeah,
know?
that's true. No, you're right. I also, here's the thing. if
Actually, in
Dark Souls did
Odyssey
that, I'd be
too,
mad.
when you encounter Bowser in Odyssey, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Mario is pretty notorious for that.
And all of it, yeah, I am very lenient with Mario because I don't care about bosses in that game. Like they exist, but like I'm not here trying to like give me them bosses.
Sure.
Yeah, Bowser's
But
probably
still.
just like a cherry on top of the cake. I would say probably. The Nintendo's come up with a pretty good formula for Mario games where it's like 3 and out, right? Usually
Yep.
you just have to do 3 times and out, and you kind of know and expect that. So if there was ever a point where all of a sudden it was like, now phase 2, I'd be like, holy
I would
crap.
lose. I'd be so happy though. Phases and boss fights. That's different. That we can talk about that later. But yes. Yeah, so good boss. I mean, it's got to be fun. I mean, well, I guess the game has to be fun. But yeah, it's got to be unique. If every boss feels the same, it's like, why are you even doing this?
Right.
So-
There shouldn't be a point in your game at all that you just get where it starts to feel repetitive or anything like that. Because then you're gonna lose the gamer, right? They're gonna
Yep.
be like, I'm not. So, I think that's important to also include in your boss fights, obviously. But
Yeah, for sure.
I think sometimes boss fights suffer from that, the fact that like they want it to be beatable, so they like make it less challenging when it
Right.
could be more challenging, and so like it becomes like a pushover.
See, that's a lot. I agree, and that's why I think at the very least, a lot of people don't agree with this, or maybe not a lot. I know a few people don't. I think every game should have difficulty settings. Like, sure, even Dark Souls, do it if you want, but like mostly, I mean, like, I know that you may classify like Kirby or Yoshi as like kids games, and maybe that's who mostly plays it. But a lot of times the bosses, I'm like, this game is like just Kirby specifically is just dumb easy, and I just wish there was like a hard mode. I guess.
I don't
how I feel
know.
about that.
So like
Okay.
I've designed boss battles in my Mario Maker levels, right?
Yep.
And all of them, like generally speaking, are not hard. In fact, a lot of the times I have like power-ups that spawn infinitely, so that you can get them again, so that you have a chance to beat the boss.
Okay.
So like it's not hard, but like there's always like a puzzle element to it that you have to figure out in order to like defeat the boss.
Right.
And that's what people like. I've found, like, if it's just like a survival, like, you put yourself in a room with Bowser and give you one flower, most people hate that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I get that.
like, for it to be a memorable and fun boss fight, you have to have a chance, but it also has to be memorable because of how you do it, rather than, like, my favorite boss battle in Zelda is probably from Skyward Sword, because it has both extremes in it. Is Coloctus, this like giant mechanized warrior that has 8 arms and has got 8 swords and is swinging at you, and you like can pull off one of the arms and use the sword against him to like kill him and stuff. It's really, really cool and so unique. But like you don't have a lot of bosses like that in that game, and that made it more unique. But like it was just a really good. It shined out as a boss in that game, but it wasn't particularly hard. It was just really interesting and cool how to solve the puzzle, and it gave a well use of the item that you get from that temple. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So, and then there's like bosses in that same game where it's like they're repetitive or like non-unique or like not a really good way of solving the puzzle, and like so they fall short. Or sometimes it's just like what they look like. Like in Skyward Sword as well, there's like this giant tentacle face
The pink thing?
Yeah, it looks like it could have been creepy as hell if they had like made it like not kitty version. It looks like a
Yes.
creature from Monsters Inc.
It does. It does. Yeah, it does.
So like the boss battle was fine, but it looks so stupid that like I hated the boss battle. So
Yeah, that's true. Boss. I mean, let me think. Do they need to look? I guess it depends on the game. Like Yoshi, I don't expect the bosses to look like goddamn intimidating monsters like I do Sekiro and Dark Souls or something like that. But I agree that in Zelda, I would like my bosses to look a little bit more intimidating
right,
on the intimidating side.
at least for the 3Ds where they like go realistic.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you guys want your bosses to be something you hate?
What do you
Uh,
mean?
Like, I guess like the final boss, you always want to have like this like loathing hatred for that you, or is it more? Do you want it more of a straightforward thing, or do you like the like kind of more complex antagonist story background?
I mean, I'm probably not gonna know who the fuck the boss is. I probably will not know who they are. I'm like, I don't know who you are. So I mean, I want them to look cool, but
I guess my question is like, what's more important to you, the storyline, the build up of the boss, or the boss fight itself? Like Kirby, I already know this. He's gonna say, "Oh, big boss fight."
I mean, yeah, the boss. I mean, well, imagine this. Like, let's say the build-up is great, and then you get to the boss, and he's just bad. Like, what if it was Beta Chaos, but it had sweet. Beta Chaos does actually have really cool lore, and then you get there, and it's just that. That's what they give you.
Yeah, that would be pretty. Yeah, that's probably Beta Chaos is probably the prime example of that. Like, 'cause there's so much lore behind Beta Chaos, but the fight itself is absolute garbo. I would say that I was disappointed with Ishin Sword Saint on the lore build up, and
Okay.
the fight itself was pretty good. I don't know if it was my favorite fight either, to be honest, but for it, I don't.
You mean
I was
how he like
disappointed-
gets just summoned out of his body?
I mean, that was cool. Don't get me wrong. The gore, the grotesqueness. I love like Souls for all the grotesque crap that they do. So
Right.
that part I was absolutely glued to. But you know, it was just like
I remember thinking, what the actual fuck is happening right now? Like, why is this happening? Like,
yeah, exactly. But there was no like build up to Ishin. You know, it's like I thought it was gonna be Guinea Boy, right? And it was, obviously. But I thought it was like he was gonna be more of like go into like a super sane mode or something, or
Right.
Yep.
and
it was
'Cause
like
you-
a classic fake out, a classic Dark Souls fake out.
Yeah,
Or FromSoft fake out.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it was good, but it wasn't my favorite.
I
Yeah.
honestly I had to look into it afterwards to really understand what happened, and it was that he wished on the sword when he killed himself, and that had the power to bring Ishin back, and
Yep.
then we fought Ishin with that sword, which is nuts. But like, yeah, it was kind of random, and they could have talked a little bit more about the sword and that it could do that.
Yeah, it just felt like it was like
Because there was ample opportunities to. People talked about that sword a bit, so it was weird.
Yeah, it was out of left field, but like you said, it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you know, just like Toy Story when mom pulls a surprise present out of the closet kind of thing. You're just like, whoa, what is happening?
So I skipped that cutscene and I had no idea where Ishin came from at first. I know what happened. I just pressed start. I didn't. He was just there and I accepted it. I just accepted it until I watched someone else play it. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I just didn't know where he came from. He was just there. So
But like
When I said WTF, Kirby was there, and he's like, "I know, right?"
yeah, I wasn't ready.
like what the phases that bugs me, dude. That actually bugs me. So the phases in like Souls are some of the coolest things that happen, right? You don't
Yep.
want to actually witness like their transformation.
No, just show me who's up next. Where is he at?
Oh
Where's
my
phase two?
god. What is wrong with you?
I mean, if you're gonna show me a next phase, do it like free. Don't throw me into a cutscene. Just like, oh shit, she's back up. I'm like, cool, nice. You're not gonna give me a whole cutscene for that.
The phases in Dark Souls, phases for boss battles, is not anything new. Dark Souls just does it so damn well.
Yes.
Agreed.
In fact, Dr. Robotnik even has phases. Like, you destroy something and it changes into something else.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, but like the way they do it, the rule of cool, they definitely follow for the most part. It's like, yo, what if he did this? Oh, that sounds awesome. Let's do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's,
Yeah, I do.
So like, I give FromSoft a lot of props for like, mastering, I would say, mastering the boss transitions. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that
Like-
escalation of
Like the rotted
urgency.
greatwood just breaks open the damn floor and you just fall down there. That is
Right.
so cool.
Or like even Gunder, like setting the scene for the whole game. Like
Yep. Oh,
you
yeah,
get him
that's-
half
yep.
health, and all of a sudden he turns into this grotesque monster that like
yeah, dude, it's like, oh, that's
destroys
what we're
you.
doing.
He like
Okay, he was a
destroys
good
you.
repeat boss too, by the way.
He was, because he didn't do the same thing both times. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So, for me, I think if I was gonna say like what makes a good boss, I would say storyline, mechanics of the
Yep.
fight, and if possible, different style from the rest of the game. And what I mean by that is like you sometimes are like you're getting a pocket of like you've known about the game. You're like, this is how you play the game. You do this and this. You jump around, blah 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 blah. But then sometimes like boss battles will give you the opportunity to like explore something different that the engine is capable of doing. And
Right.
I absolutely love that when it's like this is actually completely different from the rest of the game. I'm not sitting here doing the same like web swings or something like that. You know.
So
It's
you're
just kinda
talking
like,
about Spider-Man?
a little bit.
Okay. I was gonna
But
ask
if
you to get into more specifics and to define that, but now I understand why you're being so vague.
Yep.
Got it.
But like it just gives you a different flavor that really breaks up the hopefully not the monotony. Like I don't want to use that, but like
Right, I get it.
sometimes the boss you sprinkle in the little bosses here and there, and you're kind of like, oh man, this is all of a sudden like really delightful, and it freshens the game up for you, and you're ready for the next part. Even though the
Right.
next part might be the same type of gameplay that you've already done, it at least just kind of like revived you a bit, you know.
Yup.
Interesting.
I don't know
I
if you
agree.
guys feel the same way. I mean,
Well-
obviously, like I feel like story like my first 2 points, storyline and mechanics are kind of like like you want again Souls since this is all we talk about on this channel, right?
Dark
Souls,
Souls.
like the Souls, some of the fights in that, like especially actually like, more in particular Sekiro, like it pushes you to the max. Like I don't think there's a moment where you're not smashing buttons in some of those fights where you're just like dodge, attack, jump, dodge. And it's just like
I love that.
yeah, the rush is just ridiculous. And sometimes it's like when you're playing the other parts of the game and you're like sitting there stalking out people trying to do a sneak attack or something like that, and then you have the counter part of that where it's just completely like you're just trying to survive. It's just so good,
Yup.
The rush is insane, and that it pushes all the mechanics of the game to the max, and I feel like it's
I think one of my favorite things about some boss battles is like the interactivity of them. So for example, like if you do different things, you get different results. So for example, one of the best examples is in Dark Souls 1, where the very, very first boss, you could fight them at the very, very beginning when you enter the room, or you could run around behind them by going throughout the rest of the area and drop on them from above and get them to half health easy. And you can do that again in a couple other bosses, like there's like not cheese but like an exploit that you can do for a lot of them. Like I was really surprised by, since I played Dark Souls 1 second, how many bosses had a trick to them. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like a gimmick.
Like ceaseless discharge.
Ceaseless discharge, yeah. Or like even the Taurus demon, like you could get up on top of the tower and drop down on them and stuff like that. There's like a lot of, or you could just lock up the game and have Seath, stop moving and just destroy them. That can happen. Is just so crazy.
Oh my god. I was trying not to get triggered by that, but oh my god.
See.
Hashtag I knew it.
I hate Nick Oz so much.
So it's neat like that those things can happen, and like I like that type of thing. One of my most memorable bosses is a game that only had one boss, and that was the end boss, and that's Portal and Portal 2.
Portal, yes.
Like those games, like you fight. You guys both played the Portal games, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Was there an actual boss?
Yeah,
that
Gladys.
in Portal 1?
GLaDOS.
Oh right, yeah. I remember that. Okay. Yep.
And then it was technically Wheatley in 2.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, like in both those games, like that was really cool way of implementing everything that you learned from the game in a final boss confrontation. It was really cool.
Yeah. For some reason I thought I was remembering the GLaDOS fight in Portal 2, but yeah, you said Wheatley, and I was like, oh, that's right. No, I completely agree, and that's probably a quintessential example of something like where you take everything that you've learned and now apply it, but do it either really fast or really calculated, or you're just thinking on the fly at that point. And especially the part in Portal 2 where you have to shoot the moon. You're just like I mean, there was like a little bit of a cutscene that kind of like you look at the moon, but you're still in that trained mindset of like I gotta shoot those particular type of parts, like those things that look gray or whatever, and then you're kind of just like, I don't know, let me try this. Holy crap, it's just mind blowing, and so good, a good call out.
So Shadows of the Colossus.
Yup.
That was a game where it was just bosses.
Just bosses, arguably puzzle bosses. I guess pretty much definitely just puzzle bosses.
So what made that game unique and cool? Well, first of all, I guess because it was just bosses and pretty much nothing else. That was a kind of a neat spin-off. Like as you said later, boss rush, basically a boss rush.
Yep.
Right.
I think that was a beautiful accident too, right? Because that wasn't their true intention.
That
was just like the limitation of the medium.
No. It was their intention for it always to be just the bosses.
Really, I thought that they had like plans for like some questing and things of such.
If they did, they quickly scrapped that in favor of this design. But they had like a lot of my mic's falling apart. They had a lot of bosses that they were going to do, and then narrowed it down to like 16 rather than like the full 24.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wanted a Shadow Colossus 2 with all of them.
Dude, me too.
Me too. The Last Guardian was pretty good. I will say that.
And then there's another one, ISO or something like that.
Ico.
Ico. ICO, yeah.
IKO, isn't it?
Oh, was it KO?
KO.
Maybe it is, yeah.
No, that's supposed to be the prequel to Shadow Colossus?
I have no idea.
I can't remember the order there.
Neither can I, but yeah,
They're
figuring out how to like that's
they're in the same universe. They haven't really said what is what.
Yep.
Interesting.
That game, just figuring out how to climb stuff was fun.
Yeah.
Like the bosses themselves were almost a level, if you can kind of consider that. Like you had to. There was no real sense of danger.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest complaint is that you could like literally not die even if a 30-foot tall Titan steps on you. You're just like, oh, half my health.
Yeah, I think I died once in that game, and it was on purpose when I was like, I wonder if I can even survive this jump.
You wanted to jump into the water, I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, I want to try this, and then I died, and I was like, well, there's the death. The death that would happen, not by bosses. I mean, that was probably my complaint too, is that, and like, go to your point with the difficulty thing, I don't know if that would be the answer to everything, because I don't know if maybe like to your point, I guess again, like hard bosses in Yoshi games or something, that would be kind of cool. Like,
I mean, but here's the thing, like just because you didn't die and it doesn't mean that the bosses weren't hard. Like for example, Turtle Boss.
The power of the earth.
See, but Jank doesn't make bosses hard. Jank is just Jank. God,
That was the
ah,
fucking boss.
that was a
I know exactly what buttons to push on Trell, and I'm pushing every single one today.
The power of the earth.
The
The
dollar,
dormant hens. The power of the.
The armor is brittle.
The armor is brittle.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
I ran around. Nope. Gonna be a happy trail today. But anyway,
I think
but,
he
like,
killed me. Actually, I think I died from him.
It's like that'd be my only complaint with that game, was that it needed to be a bit more challenging in the sense of, or I guess more consequences. I guess is the way to put it, because it was challenging. It was challenging enough, but like I don't like falling off the dude, and then like that was it. It becomes a bit more. It just becomes frustrating. But I guess dying is frustrating too. But
Yeah.
It didn't, like, if I got killed because I got caught off guard, then that's one thing. But if I just fall because sometimes that grab mechanic was a little bit temperamental, it's like, oh man, I feel robbed. I don't want to feel robbed. I want to feel like you actually got me, you know?
Oh my god, the grabs. Yep.
Oh, the grabs in Sekiro. No, that's a different.
Like when you say, I pressed roll, and you didn't roll.
Oh man. So what was your favorite boss in Shadow of the Colossus, by the way?
Mine. See, like, I have a hard time picking a favorite because I either enjoy or I don't enjoy.
Okay.
But, I really liked the lizard, the, snake in the sand.
Oh, that was a good
Oh,
one.
I did like the snake in the sand quite a bit. That's a good one.
And I really liked the last boss because of the climb, like.
Okay.
But like
Wait, the snake that went into the sky, or the little
snake
worm
in the
thing?
sand snake.
We would like shoot him in the eyeball.
Yeah, the one that's
Okay.
burrowing, not the one that's The
That
flying
comes out
one
of the
was
sand
really
flies.
cool, but I liked the sand diver better.
Okay.
It took me a little bit longer to figure that one out too,
Yeah.
which is probably why I liked it more.
That's fair. Sometimes like the ones that stump you are the ones that you remember the most too.
Yeah.
My favorite was probably the lizard one in that like little coliseum or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good one. Did you know you
That
can
was-
kill him in one cycle?
I did not.
I did not
Yeah,
either. Wow.
I got an achievement for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you go back and play it, or did you do that first try?
I went back
Like-
and played it again.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought I saw you play that one. I was like, I don't remember you beating it that easily. I was like, holy crap. So you asked first bosses. What are you guys' favorite bosses across all games? What would you say is your favorite boss?
I mean, I know what I want to say, but now I gotta think and be really sure that that's the answer.
And you gotta explain why. I
Well,
guess.
okay, well then I can't pick the one in Bloodborne.
You can't. I'll take off my headphones.
No, I'll just say Frida instead if that's the route I'm going. But hold on, let me think.
Oh, so the OG Frida is your one?
I think for theme, yes. I'll say thematically, yes, but for mechanics, it'd probably still go to Frida. We'll put it that way.
Okay. Just because of that screamo emo scream from the one dude.
Wait, what? Oh, Toilet Man?
Hey,
Are you
man.
talking about him?
Toilet Man. Toilet Man.
You going Toilet Man?
Dude, I love his scream though. His scream is so good.
Yeah.
He gets so upset when you kill her. It's so
Well, let me
good.
think. Is that my answer? Hold on. Probably, but if you guys have one first, go for it. I'm thinking.
Wombat. I'll put you on the spot.
I have no idea, man. I have no idea.
It's hard. It's hard. Man, there's so many good bosses like across Dead Space. Dead Space has some things where it like, you had to again think on the fly. Like you had to use like certain like little like what's it called? Not teleportation, the kinesis.
Stasis?
Kinesis.
Kinesis.
Or
Kinesis,
there was
yeah.
stasis, yeah, but you had to
I
use
can
some
remember.
kinesis to throw things around,
Yep.
some stasis to help stop things from hitting you. And, you're just thinking on the fly, and I really like that. I would probably say the best bosses in that game were probably in the first one, even though 3 was probably more geared to like action packed and had a lot more. I think 3 had more bosses. I don't know if that's a true statement or not. It felt like it did. But then there's like some games like I don't know if you guys ever played Vex on the PlayStation.
Wait, what was it? Gex, the lizard?
Vex, VEXX.
Hold on.
Not a very popular game, but man, I freaking loved that game as a kid. I played the crap.
Oh no,
out
I
of
never
it.
did. I know
Yeah.
of. I've seen it.
That game had so many bosses in it, and for some reason, like maybe I'm putting it on a pedestal as a kid, but I loved that game, and I thought it had some really cool bosses and stuff like that, and it had a lot of exploration. I would highly recommend a playthrough of that for you guys. But that one had some really good ones that the fights felt like it was different from the rest of the game. I think that really like is a big thing for me. When the fight feels like I'm almost like doing something different than the normal of the game.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
Okay. Okay. Is it gonna have to just be Frida? The answer I'm gonna go with.
So like arguably with bosses in like any of the FromSoft games, arguably those could be like the same thing that you're doing every single time because you're just attacking things, right? But I feel like you have to strategize in there. You're like, what is your weakness? Let me.
I
find
like
it.
learning the moves. I like having memorized. Okay, this tell is this
Yeah.
move, and I have to do this. I like memorizing that.
Yeah,
That's why I like doing
The
it.
tells are gorgeous, and sometimes like they do so well with the design of the bosses where they like turn the shoulders, and it can either be one of two things. And then
Yeah.
you gotta like he's doing the shoulder thing. Let me look at his hands, and you're like just trying to like zero
Yes.
in on what his read is. You're like, let me know what you're doing, and it's some, and then you guess wrong. I guess wrong all the time on Ishin. Oh my god, Ishin just murders me.
And that's the other thing. I really like fighting bosses that feel intimidating. Like I like I just on that big ass like Midir for example. Like yeah, I flexed on him.
Yeah.
So like I like that. So like
I almost feel like that's an important thing too. You got to be intimidated by a boss. If you're not intimidated by the boss, then you don't respect the boss.
yeah,
And
I
it's
want the
not
boss to walk in. I want to be like, God damn it, and then
yeah. Like you don't feel that way with Pinwheel or
no,
that-
because he's a little bitch, and you attack him once, you're like, oh, well, to Pinwheel, you actually think like, oh, where's the next phase, and then it doesn't happen. You're like, oh, they weren't joking.
right. Yeah, like it's like I don't even consider Pinwheel a freaking boss in my opinion. He's just kind of like a stopgap to the next
Yeah.
bonfire. And then same with that like stupid in Sekiro in that one area. I can't remember his name.
Wait,
The
what?
Noble. The
Oh,
Noble.
the Miss Noble, yeah.
Miss Noble. That's not a boss. That was just like it was a scare the first time around because you're like, oh man, what is this dude? And I remember I sat there for like 5 minutes trying to plan out what I was gonna do, and all of a sudden like I just R1 spammed him and got him. I'm like, what?
Oh my, yep. And then the mist blows up. You're like, oh, what's happening now? And you're like, oh no, that was just him dispelling the illusions or whatever. So that's
I mean,
cool.
I love that they put it in there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying take it out. On that first playthrough, you're got him. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, favorite bosses.
I have
rating.
no idea, man. I have no idea.
It's gotta be Frida for me. It's gotta be Frida. Just such a good fight. I like the fact that there's I've already said enough to where if anyone's in here, they know that they're gonna get spoiled. 3 phases was awesome. Like
Oh,
I like
man.
the speed of the fight. I like faster fights. Which is why I like Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne so much. And Sekiro. So I like fast
Yeah.
fights. I like that you really have to be on your toes because she can go invisible.
On your
Um,
toes.
He's got incredibly long range and deceiving moves, really high damage. One like I don't know if it's one shot, but it feels like if your health hasn't been spec'd up too high. But just the 3 phases, and I don't know, I like the move set. I like the arena.
Yeah. It was really firing on all cylinders.
And
I
then
don't know.
honorable
It was
mention to
good.
my girl Frida 1 that I can't say anything about.
Freedom
right now.
1. Go ahead and say the name. I'll unplug.
No. Okay, he's done. Oh my god, I like the blood theme. I like that she can extend her range. I like that she fucking like gets more pissed and desperate because like she doesn't want to use blood magic, so she does. And then she gets more and more pissed. So then she like uses the flame blood magic. I like the range. I like the music. Oh my god, the music in that fight. Okay. Okay.
Dude, I can mouth read. I total
Oh,
spoiler.
oh my! I didn't say.
Oh my god.
I can mouth read. Yep, that was my quick rundown of 3-1 and why it's such a good fight.
3-1. I mean, I can't wait. I'm like already bouncing. God, no game gets you freaking jacked up like Souls games. Anyway, I'm done gushing. Wombat, your answer.
Music, boss music. Anyway,
Boss music. I remember when you told me like I can't wait, like that stupid host music I had for Dark Souls. playthrough,
yes.
And you were like, I can't wait till you finally find out what that music's from. I just go to like grab some random music and I was like, that sounds cool. That's a really cool music. I'm gonna stick that as my. And then whenever I enter, I'm like, wait, I know this. Where have I heard this before? Oh my god!
It's the host music. That was so good.
Oh man.
Oh man. Anyway, Wombat, if you have an answer now.
I'm broken. Why didn't I think about this question? Because I knew it was gonna happen. Why did?
Okay, it's okay. I'll give you some more time. While we're waiting, talk about our least favorite bosses. Terrell, you can start this one.
Man, least favorite. That I didn't think of that one at all. I didn't.
Oh.
That's a really good one. Hold on, if I was gonna, let me answer favorite, I guess, real quick.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't do that yet. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
I would say that. I would say that I don't know if this is my favorite of all time. I at least want to call it out. Nameless King probably was my favorite Souls boss.
Okay.
That was just I loved everything about that fight, like the thematics and oh my, but I was he could be my favorite, but arguably he might be tied with the Twilight Princess Ganon fight because that had
Oh really? I didn't expect that.
That had 4 phases to it, and it was just beautifully done. When you have like, you fight the big pig, you fight Zelda, and it was kind of a call out to the OOT with the tennis, and then you fight Ganon on horseback, and then you fight him 1-on-1 with the sword. I think it was the order of how it went. I might have the order wrong. Maybe Zelda was first or something like that. But I remember I was playing that when I was younger, and my mind was absolutely blown. I was just like, I got him again. There's another part, and it's just like,
Oh, he was pretty awesome.
He was probably one of my favorite. When I think of bosses, usually I use that in my mind as a comparison. I'm like, man, where's this rank on this?
Damn, that's good. Or okay. These don't coincide. For some people, they do. We can also talk about the hardest boss we ever fought, which I was gonna say sometimes that's their least favorite. But for me, it's probably gonna be Sephiroth from Kingdom Hearts because he's a little bitch in that game and his moves are garbage. So, but I know it's not a required boss for what it's worth. But so you guys haven't played it, so in case you play on it, I won't. I don't know. I know Trell hasn't.
Is that the third one or?
No. This is the first one I'm talking about.
I've played the first 2.
Did you fight Sephiroth?
Yeah. That's a hard one.
He's a bitch. Anyway, he's probably the hardest boss. I think it's been a while, and my skills have improved, so maybe he's not as bad as I remember. But right now, he's the hardest boss for me. So.
Okay. Wow. Dude, who is this dude? Holy crap.
He's so dumb.
It's Sephiroth from whatchamacallit, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, he seriously has like 8 health bars.
Oh my god.
And some of his moves are just garbo. They're just garbo moves.
How long is the fight?
Like, it feels like it's 10 minutes. Let me go look it up though.
Wow.
Kirby.
Yo.
How do I look at my games on the Steam website?
So, okay. So are you logged in?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on then. There should be an option to go to your library. Let me see
I'm
here.
looking for a library. I can't find it on the website. I know where it is on the app, but
on the client. Yeah, okay, hold on then. How about this? Let's see.
Man, I think we actually broke Wombat. He's sitting there going through the library to try to find his answer.
Oh, can you not look at your games on the website?
Do you have the mobile app? You should be able to look it on there.
You can do it on the
What's
mobile
going on,
app.
I don't have it on mobile app. So one thing I will say is like a lot of the bosses I'm thinking of are like bosses where the story reveal after or during the boss fight was amazing. So for example, like Arkham City and BioShock 1, the reveals.
Yeah.
were really cool, but that didn't have anything to do with the boss. It was the story. So like I'm like, no, that doesn't work. So that's why I'm like, I'm not sure.
Right.
Wait, hold on. I might have a workaround for you here, Wombat.
Okay.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. So I'll link this to you in the Discord. Just type that in. That'll bring you to your profile, and then you can just go to your games. It's not exactly a library, but it works.
Oh, that's where I was. I just didn't see the games. That's cool. All right.
Okay, yep. We can go through there.
Continuing on.
I don't know what my least favorite boss would be. Like, besides the obvious, I hate Bed of Chaos, but I don't know if that actually deserves, like, this is the dumbest boss I've ever fought slot.
I could almost say Bed of Chaos, to be honest. I don't know if that's like the dumbest. You know what? No, I would definitely put that as my least favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't feel like I even really beat it knowing what I was doing. I feel like I just got lucky with those swings.
Oh, dude. Trell.
I hate that.
I own Alien Isolation.
You own it? I
Yeah.
didn't. Dude, why have you not played it?
Backlog, man.
You know those backlogs, yeah.
I get that. That's all you have to say is backlog. I'm like, oh, I get you. Bro.
I don't know if either of you have played Ninja Gaiden 2, like this 3D one.
Nope.
I remember there's this boss in there. There's this armadillo boss. And he's the tankiest little bitch. And he keeps hiding in his shell and he drags out forever. And then when you beat him, it shows you the victory screen. And then, like, literally a split second later, he explodes. And if you didn't run out of the AoE, he one-shots you. And you have to do it all over again.
Oh, that's wrong.
And, like, you have to run super far away. And,
That's
like,
wrong.
it's so bad. And so that's one of them. That's up there with Bed of Chaos just because of that move. It's like, why? Like,
I mean, that's almost as bad as like giving you like a Titanite slab and then all of a sudden reviving again. You know? that's pretty wrong, you know.
At least you get a chance. You're like, okay, we're gonna fight again. You're gonna deal damage. This dude just blows up.
That's pretty messed up. I played like maybe the first Ninja Gaiden. I never beat it. Well, not. I shouldn't say the first. The first 3D one, maybe. I think it was on PlayStation 1 or something.
Yep.
But I don't remember much of it. I didn't play a terrible amount. It was just briefly. Wombat.
Twin Rova is
Favorite
my
or least
favorite. Is my favorite.
Twin World was good.
Wait, what's that one?
This the Ocarina of Time is the witches. Wait, is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, no, it is. It is right. Okay.
oh man, that's a really good one, man.
And if not, then it would be Stalord from Twilight Princess, where you're riding on that spinner.
Oh my God! Yeah, like that. We'll call it the Desert Temple. 'Cause I don't remember what it's actually called, but yes.
It's the Spirit Temple in Twilight Princess. Yeah.
Oh, it's the Spirit Temple. Okay.
Good call outs, man.
Least favorite. Would probably be Georg from Majora's Mask.
Is that the fish?
Yes.
Oh, Charles hasn't played that game.
I've
Ugh.
played
Have fun
some
with that.
of that game.
Have fun with that, Trow. Have fun with that.
I don't remember
You
Georg.
you haven't fought Georg. That's the third temple.
He's kind of dumb.
Okay.
I'll agree with Wombat. I don't know about least favorite, but I do dislike that boss.
Interesting.
No, sorry. Trash Boss is I've already said what my least favorite is, and that's what's his face? The black blob from Skyward Sword.
Oh my God, do I hate that boss?
Yeah.
He's so. How are you gonna come back like seriously 4 or 5 times, same fight, always
times,
boring.
3 times.
3 times, yeah. It felt longer, but yeah, he's just so dumb.
They did change up like how to fight it, but like it ended up being like the same anyway. So.
Yep. Yeah. Dude, I really
Wow.
like that
How
boss.
do I have 65 hours on Limbo?
Did you leave it on once?
I must have.
You have 100 hours in Sekiro?
Yeah.
Nice.
When did you? Oh my God.
Where are you at on your New Game Plus?
I haven't done much.
How have you gotten 106 hours in one playthrough? I'm jealous.
No, I've gone up to Genichiro in
Oh, okay.
in the second playthrough.
Gotcha.
745 hours though on Dark Souls 3.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're like I sat down probably for 3 hours like on a Saturday afternoon. That's how I got through from Genichiro all the way to.
Yeah, I got to Genichiro and then I haven't gone back.
Okay. You'll probably do it quicker than me too, because I got stuck on stupid ass.
Monkey.
Not Monkey. No, Monkey was easy. Yeah, Monkey first try. It was stupid. What are they called? What are they called?
What do they do?
Snake Eyes.
Oh, Snake Eyes.
I hate Snake Eyes. Both of them, man. They suck.
I'm still so proud of my Dark Souls 2 achievement. 100%.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wait, but
Oh,
you still got to go back there and kill Ancient Dragon. I'm mad about that.
Oh.
I'm actually mad. I'm calling you out. I want to see you go fight Ancient Dragon.
Nah, I did 100%. The game says so.
Oh my God.
That's fake news. That's fake news. Man, that arguably could be one of the toughest bosses I ever fought. And I've seen videos on how to kill it, and it actually is easy. There's probably, I don't know if there's cheese, but
It's I don't know. Yeah.
there's easier strats to kill it for sure. But damn, that was hard. That was a hard fight. That was probably up there with Nadir hard for me.
So Bestro, I would actually argue that that isn't a boss because it isn't computer controlled. I know you're just capping, but like I think one of the requirements of a boss is that it has to be the game controlled. It's not like another player.
So would you consider the one temple boss in Dark Souls 3?
I thought that was a neat thing, but ultimately it wasn't just that you were fighting. There was boss elements that just summoned a player. So I would still consider it a boss. It was just a cheap boss.
I mean definitely the offline version was a boss.
Yeah.
And that's why I like when I heard that was what was happening, I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm playing offline because I want to play what the game intended. I don't want to play some stacked dude that's just gonna wreck me.
Well, that was what the game intended though, so that's why I wanted to play it.
That's fair. That's fair to say. I mean, they did intend for it to be. I guess it's options, right? But
right.
I wanted to see what the embassy brought to the table.
Yeah, makes sense.
Man,
I don't know what else I have to add. Huh.
There's some good reminiscing here so far, man.
Yeah.
Thinking about all these dudes. I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but every time we talk about Skyward Sword, I've been unplugging because I have not played that.
It is hands down my least favorite Zelda game.
I've heard a lot of people say that they did not like Skyward Sword.
Well, let me
but it
say
was
this
like the OG. It's the beginning
Don't let
of time.
it discourage you. It is a good game.
I
It's just a bad Zelda game.
I liked Skyward Sword a lot, but there was some design elements that I didn't like. But still, I still enjoyed the game. Would play again.
So I did play. Let me correct myself. I've played Skyward Sword, but I probably played it less than how much I played a Majora's Mask.
So,
oh, really?
I would say Skyward Sword has one of the best dungeons in the series, but it also has a lot of my least favorite things in the series. So
what came after Skyward Sword? Breath of the Wild wasn't after Skyward Sword, was it?
No, Skyward Sword, and then
Wait, really? It wasn't? Unless, well, for console games?
Oh,
like,
are you talking about console, or are you talking about in general?
Console, yeah, console.
Oh, then it might have been.
I think it was.
I think the backlash that Skyward Sword got really made them. It forced them to kind of reinvent themselves, and they did that with Breath of the Wild, right? I thought that was like the catalyst of like why they really just dug deep into make something fresh. But I thought I read that, but I might have to look that up again. I don't have any sources. I'm submitting a research paper without any sources. Sorry. I'll just cite Wikipedia somewhere. There you go.
Wikipedia is a fantastic source. I don't care what anyone says, by the way.
Dude, I remember you couldn't even use that as a source. Now it's like there's a way to actually source Wikipedia. It's funny.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with Wikipedia. Teachers are just haters. I'm serious. I'm serious. It's totally fine. Did you get spooked?
I did not, because I heard a little bit.
Oh, damn.
You were being quiet though, dude. Oh my gosh, you were being quiet. I did hear your game gave you away.
His game?
Yeah.
Play Mickey.
Oh, I'm not playing Mickey. I'm talking right now.
Oh no, you gotta play Mickey now. It's Mickey stream.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, you're good.
So boss battles in general, like, I just feel like they can definitely help or hurt a game, but ultimately they don't make the game. For most games, but there are some
Yeah,
that
yes, for most games, 100% agreed.
like, for example, Dark Souls is all about the bosses. It really is. They make the game for the bosses.
They do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really do like the exploration, like the being scared of like shit. What's around the corner? Should I go back to a bonfire? Should I go ahead? What's gonna happen?
But
yeah,
every
I love
area
the
is
bosses.
designed to lead up to the boss.
Yep.
Um,
Agreed.
And then, like, Shadow of the Colossus was made for bosses. Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. Again, that game is literally nothing without the bosses. So, like, actually, I mean, same thing with like Fury. You know, there are other boss rush games, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that most games, the bosses can either add a lot or take away a fair amount, but probably not break the game, assuming the core mechanics aren't related to bosses. So.
What about games that don't have bosses? Do you think they suffer from not having one?
Okay, help me think of some more games besides like Tetris.
Well,
Let's see.
I don't like. Did Limbo have a boss? I don't think it did.
I suppose it didn't, did it?
And you know, some games like that. Hob almost didn't have a boss, but it did in the end.
Almost didn't. I like that.
Like, I was surprised. I thought there was going to be boss battles, but there wasn't. And then there was at the end, so. Like, I think Zelda would suffer from not having a boss.
Zelda absolutely. Wait, you said it would or would not suffer?
It would suffer.
Yes. Okay, I agree. I think honestly, I think Mario could get away with it, except for having like a boss of Bowser. I think he could get away with it. Like,
Pikmin. Yeah, I guess Pikmin. Well, technically, I feel
I
like
like the bosses in Pikmin quite a
Pikmin
bit.
has bosses though. Like
It does, and I
it's
love
those
the bosses in
creatures.
Pikmin.
Yeah.
The
I
bosses
really
are one of my
miss
favorite things about
Pikmin.
Pikmin. Trying to figure out how to make your little dude survive. Oh my
Right.
god, I love Pikmin. Yeah.
Such a cool game.
Okay, fine. Yeah, Animal Crossing, unless you count damn Tom Nook putting you into debt. But yes, that's true too.
No. And I guess like Stardew and those types of games, but even
Yeah.
Minecraft has a boss.
Minecraft? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
It has like the Wither, the Ender Dragon. I think they're deciding to come out with some more bosses too. Sims, yeah. So like, there are some games that don't have bosses, but like ultimately thinking, I don't like.
Sims has a boss.
Your actual work
Yeah,
boss?
your work
Yeah.
boss. You're right. Good call. But yeah, like some of those games, like they don't need a boss. But ultimately speaking, I think like when it comes to adventure games, like having bosses is like a nice like goal to have, or like threshold to meet. You know, things like
It
that.
is. Like, you're adventuring around, you're exploring, and you want to find a big baddie.
Right.
Right. There's a what is the name of that game? The farm game.
Farmville.
Stardew Valley, because we were just talking about that.
Oh, you really were?
We mentioned Stardew Valley when we were talking about like Animal Crossing, yeah. But you weren't there for it, so.
Stardew Valley, yeah. Does that have a boss?
I mean, not unless you count.
I've played Skyrim, but Skyrim has dragon bosses.
It does.
And
It
it
also has,
also
like,
has
giant
bosses at the end of like different dungeons and things like that.
Man, Skyrim was such a good game. I like the end boss of that game. But-
Don't say any more than that.
Okay, that's all. I guess. We take off your headset real quick.
All right.
I did not like that the fight felt pretty much like everything else. Like it didn't really feel too different. That was my only.
I've never
downside of
played it myself, but I've seen it, and I can agree that it looks exactly the same as
Just
like
give me
every
a
other
thumbs up when you're done.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
so
the last boss needs to be good.
I would like just a little bit of variety, but that's all I'll say. Okay.
Okay, we're good then. A thumbs up from me. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Big spoils on this channel.
The biggest.
You actually plan on playing that though? That's a good game.
What,
to go
Skyrim?
through. Yeah.
I'm like halfway through.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
I've avoided the
game's
main
hard for you.
storyline.
That game's hard for you. You're gonna get distracted by all the shinies and the 100%.
Oh my god.
I've explored all under Blackreach and everything like that. I've like done the whole. I've joined the Mages Guild, like all kinds of things. But like the main story, I finally recently, like the last time I played it, finally got like shouts.
Oh wow. Yeah, this is where it gets good, man.
So.
Yeah, like there's other games like that, like Fallout and stuff like that, where I've never beaten Fallout.
That's
3
why
or 4.
that's why I haven't played Fallout yet, because I know.
They're hard. They're so hard. Like you get to that was like me with Skyrim and Oblivion and stuff like that, where like I got it and I was like having fun questing, but there was a certain point I was like, I just need to focus on the main game because otherwise I'm never gonna beat it. And I played 3 and 4 Fallout and I got distracted, and then I all of a sudden played other games and never went back to them, so I've never beaten them, and I should have just like focused. From those I learned with Elden Ring. God,
Elden Ring, please.
Elder Scrolls. I was like, there just needs to be a time where I call it, and I'm like, all right, finish, and then I can walk away.
Trell, if it's open world, I'm going to be playing it for a long time. Like, that's why I think I also avoided Horizon Zero Dawn, because I heard it was kind of like Breath of the Wild and very big and open. And
Oh, okay, nice.
so like I knew that like it would be like something that I'd have to play for a while to beat, and yep, that's true.
So I saw your title the other day. You said like 7 out of 7. So you're not done with it? I thought that you were like getting ready to close that out.
Oh no, 7 out of 7 as in like 7 out of 7 days.
Oh,
In a
okay,
week,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought you were saying like you gave yourself 7 days to beat it, and you were on the 7th day beating it. I was like, oh dang.
Imagine beating a game in 7 days. I wish I could do that.
I mean, there is some short ones.
We'll call it
That's
the
true.
ring challenge. You have 7 days.
7 days.
Wombat might be able to beat Alien Isolation in 7 days.
Yeah.
That's gonna take me like 2 months. This game is so
Every
much-
game takes you 2 months.
Whatever.
No, listen,
Get outta
listen,
here.
I was going to hold on because you only get to play for like an hour and a half every day at most.
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't done.
Oh, okay. I'll take back my arm wave. Here we go.
You just don't have much time to play. You have a family and stuff. I have like I just gotta like play games.
Well, I mean, there's always like I do like that how long to beat game, our website.
Yup.
And that puts Alien Isolation at 19 hours. So automatically I knew I was like, dang, this is gonna be at least like a 30 to 40 stream for me. You know?
Yup.
But then the hide and seek that goes on in that game really is gonna probably push it to 50.
Oh my god. For completion it's even longer. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, 50 hours or 50 stream or whatever. Yeah. There's this one
Yeah.
game I want to play. It's JRPG. So but when it's called Persona 5, and for how long to beat? Last time I checked, it said look, like just base main story 96 and a half hours. So I'm like,
Oh
That's
my
intimidating.
God, how many?
96 hours for main story. If you like completions, apparently it's 173. I'm like, I'm gonna wait.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna wait just a little bit
How
on
about
that.
how do you pack a game with so much content?
I don't know. It's
Wow.
like
It's like it's not like one of the old school games with like 5 discs or something.
no, this is new. This is on PS4.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
So I mean, I like so really. What's your sweet spot in like game length? I kind of like 20 to 30 hours. I think, unless I don't know, most of the time.
I think something as long as Dark Souls 2 is definitely the sweet spot. You know, you want to make sure you're getting your full money's worth. You know?
Full
Honestly,
value.
I get disappointed when I beat a game in like 16 hours or something like that. Like,
I will say it depends on how much I spend on it. So, but I agree with you there. Like, yeah, anything 10 or less, unless I paid like 15 or less dollars, I'm like,
so for
Mon-
for
yeah,
example,
I would say money.
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Like Amnesia, I beat in 9.7 hours, and Little Nightmares 9.1 hours.
Okay.
So like, or like Hobbs 16.6 hours, or Tomb Raider almost 20 hours. Like that's it. Like those games I finished in like 4 streams or less. You know.
Yep.
Huh.
So
I would say money's an important factor. If I paid like $60 for a game and I beat it in like 8 hours, I'd be like, that's not my money's worth, you know. So
Right.
that definitely plays a factor in my opinion. And then you know, I would say that it depends on the game on how long it's going to be. And then, you know,
Yep.
like this kind of we're kind of off topic, but you can bring this back into it, saying like with bosses and such, like bosses should be an important part of the thing that help drag on the game, or at least refresh it or something like that. Or
Mhm.
I mean, like, look how long is it to beat Shadow of the Colossus, like according to that website?
Let's see. Probably like I would say it's less than 10 hours.
That's probably accurate. If you
Yeah, 6.5. 6.5.
6.5 for like a
That's-
blind.
Yeah, it took me like 5. That's why I said less than 10. But
I think it took me 12.
you also explore a lot, so you'd be in like the
Yeah.
main plus extra category.
Yeah.
Well, will you be in like the main plus extra, which
I
is like
do.
15 hours. So
I'm like, oh look, there's a nook and cranny over there that's like 5 miles away. Let's go check it out. Oh, there's
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
Oh, there's
so-
another nook and cranny. I see it over there. Let's go there. Oh, there's something
I
here.
was just like, my sword is shining this way, going that way.
yeah, me too. Me too. I don't know. Like, it's a beautiful world, and that's a game where I wish there were more like Breath of the Wild type secrets to explore, because it would have benefited greatly from
Oh,
it.
man,
I found a secret in the Charles. Did you play the PS4 version?
of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Okay.
remastered is what I played.
So in the remastered, there's actually a reference to The Last Guardian in it.
Is it like that little cave with like barrels or something like
Yeah,
that? or-
yeah. There's a barrel.
So
in the cave.
I found that secret and I had no idea what I got like an achievement for it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And there's also an Ico reference in it too.
Okay.
But I don't
Interesting.
know anything about the Ico, so yeah. But I
Interesting.
know there is one. I kind of like also bosses that reference like things from like for example, like when you fight a boss and it's like from earlier in the story, and you're like, oh my god, I'm fighting this person. Like that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I'm trying to think of a really good reference to that.
BioShock 1 is a good example.
Yeah. Yep.
For those of you
Even
who
something
haven't,
more recent, like
go ahead.
I was gonna say Owl in Sekiro.
Yeah.
When you're back there,
fighting
you're like,
Owl.
oh, dude, this guy really? I'm gonna fight him. Like, yeah, I'm talking about like the second or the in the fire temple or whatever when.
Or an even better example, the sculptor.
Oh yes, dude, yes, that's a good call out. I forgot about that one. Oh man, that was wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
God.
you know, like with games being like something like Layers of Fear, which doesn't really have a boss in it, and it's short content, right? I would say that, but I think it was only like $30 when it was in its prime. So that it's like I think that was probably worth the $30.
Yeah, it depends a lot. If I want to get like, so if I spend some dollar amount, I want to get half that many hours out. So if I spend $60 in the game, I want close to 30. I'll say like 25 is good, but yeah.
But it depends on the quality of the game too. Like if it's a
Oh,
really
it does.
good
Like
short
I don't
game,
want it bloated with garbage. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. One thing I will also say is that I cannot wait for Halloween Part 2, our next Halloween stream, because I can't wait to talk about some things that I have some opinions on now.
Okay.
Ooh, like things that you haven't beat yet, so you can't talk about them.
Correct. Or
Ooh,
things that
like-
we talked about last time that you guys told me to play.
Yep.
I still have that list, I think.
What are your thoughts, real quick, on Layers of Fear?
No, we'll talk about that then.
Ah. Oh man, I think horror games, definitely benefit from having a boss. I wouldn't. Would you consider, big spoils here. Alien Isolation has an alien. Ooh. Would you
We
consider?
didn't even know that at first, actually. So
Oh, that's true. that is true. Would you consider that a boss?
no, it's just an enemy.
Just-
Like, if at the end of the game, I really don't know. I haven't played it, so I'm theorizing here. If at the end of the game you fight it and kill it, and so even if it's like a puzzling manner, like you trick it into going into a room and like eject it into space, then that can be a boss fight. But right now, I don't consider it a boss because you can't. I think a boss has to be something you can beat, not just avoid. I didn't clarify that at first.
you have to actually be able to beat it.
You have to be able to beat it.
Outlast didn't have bosses.
Nah, it just had it had bad dudes. But if you can't beat it, then you don't have to kill it, but you have to like even if the alien, if you just launch out into space, you won. You beat him. You didn't hide, and just living isn't enough. I guess is what I'm saying. So yeah.
Okay. That's interesting because like there could go into parts like something that you. How do I want to phrase this? So like you defeated it by not getting detected. What does that not count?
No, I want to win. I want to know I won.
You have to have like a because like you in that sense you like in what you just said like it was either a choice of you were able to progress or not, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, let me think about this. You bring up good points.
So
I want to know I won. Sorry, go ahead, Wombat.
if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, all you have to do is, whatchamacallit, get past in order to win.
Yep.
Like defeating it or like by killing it or by getting past it, is surviving the encounter is winning. So
That's fair. It's a good point.
Dropping some big D&D knowledge on you. Look at this.
I'm trying. I see. I agree that like just escaping the dudes in Outlast, you beat them. They didn't kill you. They lost. See, I feel like I agree with that, but the problem is, for some reason, I still don't count Outlast or the aliens as a boss, which means there's some disconnect, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Like, why don't I consider them bosses? Like, what is missing from the conventional boss? Because you're right, you did win.
For the record, I probably wouldn't consider them bosses.
Yeah, so
But
like,
I can't explain why.
exactly. There's something wrong with my definition, and now I got to think
how
about
about Trell? How about what is the game where you were just playing it recently where like there was like Buzz saw Betty and
Oh, Evil Within.
Evil Within.
Oh my god.
You survived like singing Sally, but she was
Ooh.
she was a boss.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
a really good example, Wombat. Is seeing Sally a boss?
Wait.
I think singing Sally is a boss.
Because she was like the only one you didn't defeat, but you survived her.
Yeah.
Just absolutely took your thesis and just shat all over it, dude. It's just
I haven't played it. I want to say no, but I don't know why.
You want to say no to
It's a
seeing Sally?
unique- Yeah, it's a unique. But you're right, though. It's a unique experience. It's an obstacle that you have to puzzle around or
All
just
right,
sneak
all right.
on, I guess.
Hang on.
But I agree. But it should be. My brain's like, nah.
So like take out like we're really getting into the nitty gritty of bosses here. This is
That's good.
Take out like that it's an actual like person that you're trying to kill, right?
Mhm.
And you just look at it like programmatically. It's just a different encounter that you have to execute in a perfect sequence or whatever to progress. You could just dress it up as you wanted to. That once you got through the door, something like that, she died. You didn't get that. You didn't get that reward. But
Right.
technically, it was kind of like a boss-like experience, right?
Right.
So I mean, like just because you didn't get the cinematic of her dying, I guess,
okay,
makes
so
it not a boss fight in your eyes.
here's Wikipedia. In video
Yeah,
games,
please.
a boss is a significant computer-controlled enemy. Okay.
Ooh, so that's okay.
Ooh.
A significant computer-controlled
Significant.
enemy.
So that I guess okay.
So a fight with a boss character is commonly referred to as a boss battle or boss fight. Boss battles are generally seen as a climax of a particular section of the game, usually at the end of a level or stage, or guarding a specific objective. The boss enemy is generally far stronger than the opponents the player has faced up to that point, and is usually faced solo. A mini boss
Unless
is
you're
a
a
weaker
dirty
boss.
summoner.
A super boss is generally more powerful than the bosses encountered. I've never heard
I
super
love
boss.
super
A
bosses.
super boss.
What's a
Dude,
what's an
so a
example
super
of a
boss would
super
be
boss?
like Nameless King could be considered a super boss. Optional, really tough optional bosses is generally what a super boss is defined as.
So like it's not okay. Got it.
Yep, Sephiroth is a super boss in Kingdom Hearts. JRPGs love super bosses. They're generally just optional bosses that are leagues tougher to where you either need to grind up like in levels or just get really, really good and like really perfect the fight.
Huh, the first game to feature a boss fight was 1975 RPG D&D.
Wow.
Oh
The
my
role-playing
God.
video game. So
I guess King Sally is a boss then. It's a computer-controlled enemy that's, I guess, it's
Significant.
stronger. Yeah, a significant one, yes, not just some baby bitch. And yeah, I guess she is a boss. And then is the alien a boss by default? Yes, as well, because it's not weak like the humans or the androids.
But like, I guess, see that I have a problem with that definition too. Alien is like there the whole time. The boss fight can't
okay,
be the
so
entire-
hang on. There's one more caveat. Boss battles
Okay.
are typically seen as dramatic events. As such,
I
they're
don't-
usually characterized with a unique music and cutscenes before and after the boss battle. Recurring bosses and final bosses may have their own specific theme music to distinguish them from other boss battles. This concept extends beyond combat-oriented video games. For example, a number of titles in Dance Dance Revolution rhythm game series contain boss songs that are called bosses because they are exceptionally difficult to perform on.
No way.
I like that. I like that. I think-
DDR has bosses.
oh shit! Imagine you're playing DDR, like, oh fuck, it's the boss. It's the boss song.
I
It's
better
Cotton
take
Eye
a,
Joe. Here it
I better
comes.
take a Cotton Eye Joe. I better take a Sunny D. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I can't go into this room blind. Oh my god. Yup. I need summon.
That's so good, dude.
That is really cool.
So yeah, I would say, oh, so they're calling out some final boss stuff. Conker's Bad Fur Day they call out.
For
Be-
no, that game we don't
because-
talk about
Best
Conker's Bad Fur
game.
Day.
Because Conker didn't follow the usual trope of the main antagonist of the game is the boss at the end.
Right. Right.
Conti-
Oh, the game's so fitting now. Thinking about the end theme boss.
Yup.
Oh wow.
they talk about Bloodborne too.
What? What is it?
Examples of a true final boss include such
Mm.
and such and such and such.
Oh, that's true. Because some games, right, you fight a boss, and then if you didn't collect certain amount of items, or if you didn't do a certain side quest, or if you do a certain side quest or collect certain items, then you beat the boss, and then you found there's another real boss, and you get the real ending.
Like Dark Souls 2.
Yes, exactly. You get Aldia.
Yeah, Aldia.
Is it safe?
Yeah, it's safe.
All right.
What were you hiding from?
I just heard Bloodborne and I was giving you guys a chance.
I didn't talk anything about Bloodborne. I said I didn't even read it. I was like blah 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 blah. That's what I said.
True. It
Blah,
is
blah, blah.
actually what he said.
I did hear you say Aldia. That's a good call
Yeah,
out.
so-
We were saying that like some games like Dark Souls 2, for example, have a true final boss where you beat a final boss, but then it seems like the end of the game. But if you've actually done a side quest or collected items or explored or whatever, you beat the boss and you find out there's another real boss afterwards.
Yeah. No. Yep. Although that, man, I thought that was poorly executed though.
Sure, no, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that, but
Yeah, but I
there
get
were
what
much
you're
better
saying.
examples of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah. So I guess wait, is Alien a boss?
I would
Why-
say there's segments of.
So
of-
here's what I'll say: the alien is what's known as a recurring boss.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, but it is a boss. Okay.
because
But technically speaking, it is also the game's title, right? So it's also the final boss, probably.
I wonder. I do really wonder, and I guess we'll see in like 5 months.
Fuck you.
I wonder if you're gonna just like escape off the escape from the alien, or if you're actually gonna like do battle with it. Dude, what if you could? Have you seen
So-
Alien Wombat, like the
Yeah,
movie?
I have.
I
So
wonder if you're gonna get a mech suit.
right. So I'm curious because like there might be like options. You might be able to either escape or kill the alien, and the killing the alien's the true ending. You know what I mean?
If you have the option to fight it, Trell, and you don't, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Dude, if I see an escape pod, I'm taking it.
No, you fought the alien in
Of course he
Conquerors.
is.
Do it again.
Oh my god, dude. So I do like the recurring boss fight definition.
Yeah,
because
I'll count that.
there's parts that you know for a fact, like I just escaped the alien. It's probably not here right now, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like that. That you just know that you have intuition at that point. You're like, I'm safe right now.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you usually get like kind of sort of well, that's not completely true either, and I'm not sure how the whole game works, because I feel like there's times where all of a sudden it can just all of a sudden just spawn on you, and so in that sense it kind of breaks what I'm about to say. But I was going to say that it, like, the alien segments that he's there are the boss battles, and there's a lot of them. And there's also I'm not sure, because I'm still figuring it out. I'm not sure when if it's as clear cut as what I'm describing, because I feel like if you start making noise or something like that, it could bring on Alien or something. So I don't know.
right.
It could just be part of the game, or maybe the whole game is one big boss fight.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That's
19-hour boss fight.
Let's go.
So yeah, I mean, like, I know if I ever created a game, I'd probably have bosses in it.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta. I mean, I don't know.
Absolutely.
You don't gotta, but I would too. I guess I agree.
But like some games, like, it's okay. So here's another example of times where you survive the boss fight, but you don't actually kill the boss usually.
Mm,
Are you ready for this?
I think so.
Little Nightmares.
Oh yeah. Okay.
A lot of the bosses
Yeah,
in
those
that
are
are
They're
themed
bosses,
around
yeah.
them, but
Chubby
you don't kill
McRolls are my
them.
favorite.
Right. And Little Nightmares, man, what a game. But like, it wasn't really like you were exploring the level, and the level was themed around that boss, and like most of the time you were just trying to escape it, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Trell, you still
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
played the DLC for that, right?
I have not. No.
It's
No.
so
I-
good, dude. It's so good. They're
Is
coming
it?
out with a second one.
I saw the trailer for the second one.
I
I'm
didn't
stoked
watch the
for it.
trailer, but like, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that game was probably up there for horror games. I really loved it. I do want to go back and play the DLC. I just never bought it, and then I moved on to other things. But I want to play the DLC of that and 2 whenever. I think it's coming out next year, right?
Yeah, so you should play the DLC for this Halloween, and then next year you can. So that way you've got 3 years running where you've played Little Nightmares on the holiday. You know what I mean?
That would be pretty good, actually.
And I can actually watch that, so the curse will be lifted.
I'm trying to. Oh man, what have I got lined up? I don't know if this next game that I want to play. I don't know if you've played.
What is it? Do you
Uh,
mind?
yes.
Top secret.
Oh.
You know the Charleston games list.
Shut
Yes,
up, Corby.
Well-
Someone might.
Trell,
someone might do it first.
if you want to tell me outside of, so I promise I won't tell anybody, but if you want to
Oh
tell
my! Tell me.
me, just to piss Kirby off, you know.
Why does it have to be? Oh my god.
Big secret.
Yeah, I don't get that either, but like, I'm pretty open about what I play. So, in fact, most of the time I want people to tell me what to play because I don't know. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good way to do it. Like, I probably should open it up. Let you guys. But then no, because there's gonna be spam Bloodborne.
I'm not gonna, dude. Oh my god. I'm not asking you to like let us choose the game. I just want to know what you've got lined up. What can I expect? Should I call off work for 3 days in a row? How good's the game gonna be? I don't know.
Oh man, dude, I need before Bloodborne. I got it. One prerequisite before Bloodborne is I gotta finish Sekiro. And by
Okay.
that, for anyone that's just like, oh my god, he hasn't played it yet. No, I've beaten Sekiro, but I just need to beat the second ending, the Shura ending. I gotta beat Shura. Gotta defeat Shura.
The easiest ending.
I disagree with
Well,
that.
it's the easiest
wholeheartedly.
because you don't
It's
have
the
to fight
fastest ending.
anything else.
I definitely would say it's fastest, but I don't know if it's the easiest. The fight is on par with Ishin Sword Saint, and you don't have as many opportunities to level your
Right.
attack power.
Yeah, because you're so much earlier in the game.
I agree that Ishin Sword Saint's easier just because the stupid lightning reversal. Like if you get good at it, it's just like he thinks he's cool and it's just a punish. You just punish him the whole time.
I
Using
did do that a couple times in my final fight.
You did or did not?
I did. Charles,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like
did you
it
see
makes
that?
it so much easier. Yeah, I thought that's what I was saying. I thought you did. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hmm.
Well, I think we've kind of exhausted the topic, at least for now. I'm sure it's funny that we actually finally looked up the Wikipedia definition like toward the end of the stream. What boss battle?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how we do it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like boss battles is like a thing. Like it was so hard for me to pick like a favorite, and I don't think I've even picked my least favorite yet.
Well, you got an answer.
Oh
for
yeah, I did. It was the black blob from Skyward Sword.
That's right.
that? Oh, right.
Trell, you'll see.
It's so stupid.
So I guess we will see you guys next time then.
Yep.
Um,
Good podcast.
I think next time is going to be in 2 weeks, probably, which is going to be October 6th. Actually, we'll probably have to delay a week because that's going to be the week of my anniversary. So I might be back by then, but we'll see. We'll keep in
Okay.
touch about that. But October is Spoopy month, so we will probably do our Spoopy month podcast on the 20th then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just so that way we have a little bit of time after Halloween to actually play some of the games we talk about, if we do talk about them to play. But if not, then we'll talk about the ones we have played already.
I'm gonna have no voice by the end of October. I swear.
Hey, when I did my pirate stream the other day, I lost my voice almost. Like
Oh my God.
I ruined my voice. You guys missed it.
Dang. You just gotta get like some big spook going on and some big girly screams, then you'll definitely just be losing your voice for a week.
Trell was clipping all kinds of scary stuff and layers of fear, and I was just like,
I don't know how you were like stoic. I was like, how are you not broken? Oh my gosh.
all right. So we will talk. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And don't forget to be bosses yourselves. Be memorable in your life, man. And make sure that people don't defeat you.
Yeah, dude. I want to be someone's final boss, but I'm not gonna lose.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So be the best mythical boss you can be.
Don't be a pinwheel. Be a Madeir.
Be a Madeir.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hope you guys had a
See
good
ya.
takeaway from that, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace.